We on alert ought to be coming through.
Con. Shalom, shalom. There we go. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. We in there. Let's go. Hey, shalom, shalom. Of course,
Shalom.
before we get started, we're going to give all praises unto our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakwadash. Those are the real ancient names of the powers of the universe, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Son's name is Yahweh Shai. Brother Monagon back here with the elder brother Yatazak out of Dallas. And we're just going to go in the spirit concerning Jacob's trouble in this program called 1033 program. Of course, peace and blessings to the households of faith out there, those Bathamai Wamath and sincerity and truth, and double honors to our elders and apostles that came back in the reincarnation, because reincarnation is real, all right? And they're known as Great Millstone these times. These are the real leaders and rulers of Yasha Allah. Hey, they went and go into topics like this, you know? Not too long ago, some of these other groups were saying, and they're still saying it, that there's not going to be a Jacob's trouble, that we already went through it. That's complete madness, all right? And as scripture that just came to my mind is Daniel 12:1. All right, I'll just get it real quick, bro.
God.
We can start off with that. But yeah, this program, you know, it was set up in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And then Obama tried to restrict it, and then Trump came in and said, no, let's keep this thing going. All right, and then Biden tried to restrict it again, and then Trump is back in. So you already know they ready to go. All right, they understand that they operate according to something called order out of chaos. All right, and they're going to try to bring in their new Esau world order. You know what I'm saying? And this is part of it. This is part of the legislation that's in there. But let me just get this precept real quick.
And right now, the house of the Edomites is divided. See, the scriptures tell you that a house that's divided can't stand. So what you're seeing is a house that's divided, and they pretty much trying to race to the finish line to see who's going to control their new Esau world order.
Yep.
See, you got one side. I would say you got the left side, then you got the right side, but they both are the same nation. So each side is in a race to force the M to the O to the T to the B. They in a race to force World War III and all these different things that the Lord has prophesied. Yeah. You see? So he got both sides of a divided house going full speed ahead, trying to complete a plan that's not prophesied to work.
Yep.
You got it.
Hey, this is Daniel, Daniel Allah in the Hebrew, chapter 12 and verse chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince with standard for the children of thy people. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Now, let me run that back again. All right, let's start this at the top one more time. Because you see a commonality in here. Time was mentioned 3 times. All right. And evil means bad times, all right? Because the evils are coming. All right, now again, this is Daniel 12:1. It says, and at that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince was standing for the children of thy people. So when we stop right there, we're in that time right now. This ain't talking about the Babylonian Empire. This ain't talking about even when we was in slavery a couple hundred years ago. That's not talking about that. This is something brand new. And it's going to be so bad that Michael's going to have to intervene. When did he ever do that in history? He never did that in history. See? So now when we keep going, it says, which also he stands for the children of Israel. That's another thing too. These angels, when people hear about the angels, they picture little Edomite babies and stuff like that floating around. No, these are dark-skinned men, all right, powerful entities that are only here to defend and in place to defend the Israelites. All right. And then also on the other side to destroy Israelites. Okay. It says, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, talking about the end times we're in, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be written in the book. All right. I'll read verse 2. And many of them shall sleep in the dust of the earth, shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to everlasting shame and everlasting. I'm sorry, and some to shame and everlasting content. And that's what's about to happen, man. You know, Esau's not playing around. He's got hundreds and hundreds of pages written up on you niggas to roll on you, especially you Israelites. You T-shirt and friends Israelites talking about there's not going to be Jacob's trouble, you know, and it's on the books, and we're going to go into it, and it's called the 1033 program. We're going to read a little bit of it, and then kind of just go in the spirit, you know. If you had something to quantum, we could probably pull that up, unless you got a precept.
No, I was just gonna say when it comes to the prophets prophesying, you got false prophets and you got legitimate prophets who are the friends of the Most High. You see, so all these groups that's saying that it's not gonna be a Jacob's trouble, we already went through it. That precept that you just brought out in Daniel proves that hadn't happened yet.
Right.
You know, so at the end of the day, you can't prophesy something that's already happened. You can only prophesy something that's going to happen in the future. You know, and we haven't lived in a time. We haven't lived in a time to where missiles are available until now. We haven't lived in a time to where all these things were possible until now. You see, so for Michael to stand up and for us to see something that we haven't ever seen within the past 2,000 years, we done seen a lot of stuff. So for the Lord to come with something completely new, it's obvious that hadn't happened yet.
Yep.
You got it. Well, let me share my screen. Unless you can share your screen.
Hey, Shalom, Mike. You want me to share mine? Yeah, about Shimon Shabrak Thumb.
Yeah, come on. Shalom, Zanal. Yeah, Shabrak.
Whatever you need me to get.
We sent you some links in the private chat, you know.
Yeah, I pulled up the 1033 program into Google. If y'all want to get in the chat GPT or something to see if it's something more juicy in there, we can do that.
Yeah. And bear with us, all right? And
yeah, you could jump in chat GPT and say, when was the 1033 program originally shown or presented? Yeah. And I guarantee you it's probably gonna go back further than Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier in the 80s or the 90s it was mentioned. So
yeah. Hold on real quick.
Yeah, and all these the other groups, like I was mentioning, going into prophecy, they're the prophets, but they only want to be prophets based on the authority that a prophet has to be able to tell people what to do and curse people out and all these different things. But when it comes to the actual prophesying future events, they ain't got no conversation for you.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's the difference between a false prophet and a prophet. A prophet is going to do what the Lord told him to do, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
You see, a false prophet he's going to carry himself as a hireman. Look, I just signed up to get paid. I ain't signed up to do all this. And that's what you're seeing with these other groups, because they out there training in the park, right? Which they ain't, whatever. Training in the park, letting the left hand know what the right hand is doing.
Yep.
You see, they got all these things going, but at the same time, you got program 1033 program.
That's called making yourself, and that's contrary. See, that's called making yourself an easy target.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going out on the highways and hedges, that's not calling yourself an easy target. That's just the work of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You openly showing that you going to the gun range, you shooting slingshots, you know what I'm saying, shooting bows and arrows, you taking a camp field trip, you know what I'm saying, to do militia activities. You showing this man you're playing into what he wants you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Doing the work of the Lord, they already gonna come for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the thing is, these events got to play out so they can be justified.
Yeah.
You see, that's why the prophets from the old days, the ancient prophets, are back here today to tell you they about to warn you. They warning you about the same things. You see, how are we gonna be numbered against the transgressors if these niggas ain't wilding the fuck out?
Right.
You see, so we see in the prophecy play out. You see in Israelites not be circumspect. You see it, Israelites show their hand to the devil. You see it, Israelites do all these things. Meanwhile, it's our job to just keep on preaching. Because the Psalms 34:7 says that those that fear him, the Lord had kept around angels about him. You see? But you showing zero fear of the Lord, and then you showing your hand to the devil. We're gonna see what happened. We're gonna see what happened. Because for y'all, for ISUPK to be as tough as they claim to be, and they always training and all this and that. They got guns, they hand-to-hand combat, they macing each other to see how tough each other is. And IUIC disposed of you niggas in 30 seconds. So whatever the fuck ever. Y'all got a lot more fucking work to do if that's the case. You wonder why them niggas don't know nothing about the scriptures, because they doing other stuff.
Right.
Salaki, you got it.
You can pull up the Google question for 10. Let's start with 1033. Then we'll get to what Trump is doing right now. Bakasha.
Pull up the is that the one you want, Zaquan?
No, not that's the second one that I want. You can just go on maybe like Google and just type in what is the 1033 program.
God.
Or Chat GPT. Because basically it'll give the details, but in general, you know, what this program does is militarize the police force. Okay. Yeah, there it is right there.
So the AI. So the AI.
All that, bro. Salaki.
Salaki is the question. So the AI overview, it says the 1033 program, officially the DOD, that's the Department of Defense, Law Enforcement Support Program, allows law enforcement agencies to receive surplus military equipment for the Department of Defense. It says this program, managed by the Law Enforcement Support Office, the LISO, if I'm not mistaken, within the Defense Logistics Agency, DLA, transfers items like weapons, vehicles, and other equipment to various levels of law enforcement, for federal to local. All right. And its purpose to provide law enforcement with equipment that would otherwise be discarded, including items like armored vehicles, small arms, and tactical gear.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, when it comes to Esau's weapons, once he's done playing with it, he'll give it away.
Yep.
Right? So imagine what the military got cooked up if they gonna give these items to the cops. You see? They've graduated in weaponry, which is another key to let you know that the sword that was given to Esau is still in full effect now. You got it?
Yeah, I remember some years ago, the elder Bishop Ayathan, he did a video basically explaining some of Esau's new mechanisms, and one of them was a gun that literally shoots lightning bolts. You know, it shoots electricity at you, so it feels like you're burning from the inside out. You know,
right? Now, so we've seen armored vehicles, we've seen tanks, we've seen tactical gear, we've seen all that. We're in a time to where you're gonna see something that's greater than that.
Yeah.
You see? You got it.
That's
what I'm saying. They don't want this no more. They done with this. Here, get that to the cops.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You see, you got these, and look, you see it says sheriff on there.
Yeah, I personally, Akim, when I was in the military, I've you know, seen one of these things, been inside one of these things, you know. You know, it's not a tank, it's an up armored vehicle that's different than your regular Humvee. And like we used to say, Zaquan, you know, all it takes is one of these things to ride through a neighborhood. Like even like this right here, this is pretty much standard, a regular Humvee, but you can see the doors look armored. It's different from this one that has flat doors. It's called up armored. So it can take them little bullets that niggas got, you know, little rifles and shit that niggas got. It can fit 5 people in, 4 all around, and then you have one person at the top. And all they got to do is put a big ass gun. See, like this person here. All they got to do is put a big ass gun at the top, and they blowing away whole neighborhoods with one vehicle. In America, they blowing away whole fucking neighborhoods, depending on what size gun they got at the top.
Right. And now when we read,
not ready.
Salakia. when you go back and read it, you see that guy there on the top of that one. He looked like he got a grenade launcher, you know. That's why when Obama came into office, it's gonna say when we go back and read it, he tried to restrict it because it's like, okay, what do police need grenade launchers for? You know what I'm saying? Like
to launch grenade.
you use grenades in war. You know what I'm saying? Like actual, like you know what I'm saying? Like Call of Duty type situation. So Trump is saying no. Give them niggas them attachments back. They're gonna need it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that turning on top that could take down a whole block.
This is what I was talking about, Zaquanium.
Yeah.
This right here, this weapon right here is called a Mark 19 grenade launcher. It weighs almost 80 pounds. I held one of these. They call it a 2-person carry, but you know, men, we like to carry by goddamn selves, right? So right here, you see this person at the top. Let me see open image and new tab. Look at this. Look at that.
That's what I'm saying. They saying, look, we done with this. Get that little shit to the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got bigger and better shit.
Now Zaquan Yatazak, you remember that movie Scarface?
Yeah.
Right, of course, right? Remember at the end, he was shooting at that M16 with that grenade launcher at the bottom.
Yep.
That grenade that came out of that thing, just think of that shooting out a whole bunch of these like a machine gun. Imagine shooting grenades like that, like a machine gun. That's what this thing does.
That's a cheat code.
That's what I'm saying. If they point that at somebody's house, the whole house goes down. These niggas are not ready for the hell and judgment that's coming to America. When you join the military, they say they swear to defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We're approaching that domestic time.
That's just like earlier, Elder Ariala did a video pretty much saying, you really think Esau is scared of you niggas at the park?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He's not, man. You see, the Lord gave him the sword as a blessing. And he's going to use that sword to try to fight to keep that blessing. You see? So Jake Mason each other at the park ain't going to get it. We're going to need divine intervention, man. You see? The Lord is talking about sending Michael that the time's going to be so bad. You see? Like, what are we going to do with all that prophecy? What are we going to do with all that info? We're going to teach it. You see? And those that have ears to hear, they going to hear it, man. Because the elect, it's all about the elect at the end of the day. The elect are going to hearken to these words, man. You got it.
Khan, it says, once again, the purpose, it says, matter of fact, if I can get this Aquanium, this is 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Shemel Shai to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of Yahweh Shemel Shai, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai. That's our warfare. See, Esau has, all these things here, but we have the Holy Scriptures. And what's within that warfare? The names of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Those are our bullets. Those are our grenade launchers. We call upon Yahweh Shemel Shai during these times. That's all we got. Going carnal is going to lead to your destruction, and the Scripture speaks about that. Salakia.
God, King David mentioned it. The Lord is my rock. The Lord is my fortress. The Lord is my this. The Lord is my that. You see? Jake don't talk like that. And they wonder why. They wonder why. Well, they don't even wonder why. They're going to get caught slipping. They're not thinking about it at all. You see? Whatever Jake is training for, it's on a carnal tip. See, we training in the Scriptures. Our senses are being exercised in the Scriptures. So when it come time for the physicality, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be chest deep in the shit, of course, but we're going to be protected.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the Lord promising to protect us it outweighs anything else. You got it.
From there, can you go to Romans 8 and read verses 4-6?
Yes, sir. Let's see.
because we're trying to walk more in the spirit. As the days go on, we got to look at things more spiritually and get away from this carnal mindset, the shit that we used to think we used to be on back in the world. Because what you see ISUPK doing, that's that black power and Negro only Passover type stuff, energy. You know what I'm saying? You running uphill with weights in your back. You know what I'm saying? Your gout's killing you. You know what I'm saying? You can barely do the damn exercises. You're gassed. But you still believe that Ruth is an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Or the Sabbath is Friday to Saturday. Or that Jacob's trouble is not going to happen. You know? If you could read that, bro.
That's what I say. If Jacob's trouble ain't going to happen, and we already went through it, what you training for?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm asking what you training for is because a lot of y'all are I'm not finna sit up here and act like I'm the picture of health, but a lot of you dudes is overweight and out of shape. You see? Yeah. So you can't be training as much as you say you training because it will show. But at the end of the day, even if the Lord put you in a position in the world you can't move, or you look like you stranded, or you look like you through, it's him that's gonna make the way out.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yep.
I don't care about you being no black belt, 5 shield general, 100-star sniper. It don't matter if the Lord ain't with you.
Right.
And that's what Jake failed to understand, man. You see, it's easier to repent than gain a black belt, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yep. Salakia. This is Romans 8:4 says that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh.
Right. All that working out, which is nothing wrong with working out, but you see, they're doing it for show. You know, they're doing it to say, hey, we got it. If this man comes, we're going to be prepared. No, you're not. You don't know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Esau has things. He has underground cities with weaponry. And I mean, this man has satellites that can shoot lasers down onto the ground.
He has things he hadn't showed you niggas.
Right. Esau hasn't put his cards on the table yet. So while you busy walking in the flesh, Esau likes that. He's keep on walking in the flesh. You're gonna get caught up. You keep going up.
Rakara, Bashar Ma'ai. More
That's
spirit, less flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You got it.
Khan, this is verse 5, and it says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit.
Right. And the spirit's saying that Jacob is going to go through tribulation. Paul said he confirmed the souls of the disciples by saying, through much tribulation you shall enter into the kingdom. Mm-hmm. Tribulation is troubled times, man. All right. Jacob is going to go through the wilderness again. It says in Ezekiel, I'm going to bring the people into the wilderness again and purge out the rebels from among you. It's going to be troubling times. All right, Jacob, you're gonna go through the wilderness again. Everything is gonna come back. And there's no new thing under the sun except this thing that's coming is just the force that is coming with is going to be new. All right, because when you go into Wisdom of Solomon, it talks about all the apparitions and everything that was going on with Egypt. That was not mentioned in Exodus.
Yeah.
That's going to be amplified.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 6, it says, for to be carnally minded is death,
mm-hmm.
but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Right. Now, Esau's carnal by nature. His blessing is the sword. That's all I wanted. No. 7 is good too, as well. But Esau's blessing is the sword. So you're trying to meet this man with his blessing. That's carnal. There's a way to seem right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. We trying to tell you, it's been set up since the 90s. Well, before the 90s. They just wrote it down in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? But Esau had this plan way back, and we still had chains on us. All right, that he had to bring some type of chaos, and he's going to try to bring his order. But the chaos is going to spin out of control. Because Esau's a little Timmy in the garage. You know what I'm saying? He needs to be stopped. You can read 7, and that's it.
Come. It says, verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahweh Shemel Shai, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be.
That's good. Yeah.
Let me go back to the chat GPT, well, the AI, the Google AI.
Yeah.
And it says, reading the purpose again, it says to provide law enforcement with equipment that would otherwise be discarded, including items like armored vehicles, small arms, and tactical gear. Who's eligible? The eligibility. It says federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies can participate, provided they meet specific criteria related to their primary function, officer compensation, and arrest powers.
Which I believe that criteria is going to change because Trump, he basically reinstated the full power of this. And when we read the next thing, the main reason Trump is unleashing the police force is for cop killers, basically. You know what I'm saying? People that don't agree with the authorities that are in place wherever they live. So Trump's going to give them the full power. Hey, if you're upset with the boys in blue, then they're coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna matter what the criteria is. All hell's gonna be. Shit's gonna be hitting the fan. So they're gonna say, "Hey, do what you got to do to restore order." And that means sending a lot of you Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right back to the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Yep. All them protests and all that protesting and marching and all that type of stuff. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna be wide open. You signing up for them to be able to move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to be a fool to send 800 dudes out there talk about Esau, we gonna fool ya. Y'all gonna get shot the fuck up.
Right.
Go ahead.
The equipment, it says the program covers a wide range of surplus military property, including armored vehicles, weapons, tactical gear, and other supplies. Their funding, it says transfers are typically at no cost at the receiving agency, with the exception of shipping and potential maintenance expenses. Wow. So they're getting it for free?
Yep.
Other than the cost to ship it?
Yeah. And if y'all just happen to need an oil change, we got it.
Right.
Man, bro, Jacob's trouble is going to be a hot mess, man.
Yeah.
See, they said, bro, 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to see how much they need Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. All that pride is going to be knocked off, man. Mm-hmm. All that pride, all that wickedness, all that debate, all the accusations, all the lies, all that's going to come to a head in Jacob's trouble, man. Mm-hmm. You see? And Jacob's trouble is going to put the squeeze on 2/3 to take the C to the A to the I to the P. Mm-hmm. They talking all this shit. You see? But the Lord gonna put you through Jacob's trouble. You're gonna take the M to the O to the B, T to the B, and then you're gonna get the doom for the worshipers of the beast. We watching that all play out right now, man. You got it.
God. It says the transparency says there have been ongoing discussions and debates about the program's transparency and accountability, particularly concerning the types of equipment being transferred and how it's being used.
Yeah, grenade launchers. You know what I'm saying? The main reason why them grenade launchers are needed because niggas live in the projects. Just like you see Esau Edom, who's in control of the American military, this man will drop a bomb from a drone on a hospital just because one person is inside the hospital. They believe one person in the hospital. You don't think he's going to do that here on U.S. soil? Or it's some niggas in all black with t-shirts and fringes on the 11th floor. We think they got some blueprints. Just blow the whole building up.
That's how.
And then they're gonna spin the story. Who knows? Remember Esau's in the media.
Yep, we save millions of lives by doing this.
Right there, that's the line. There it is, right there. That's what they're gonna say. Go ahead,
Mm-hmm. And it says impact. It says the program has been the subject of both support and criticism, with arguments for the use in counter-drug and counter-terrorism efforts, as well as concerns about police militarization and potential negative impacts on communities.
Yeah, and those potential negative impacts on communities are going to be wiped away. Mm-hmm. This is mandatory. We got to save y'all lives. We're going to have to kill some people. Y'all just gonna have to deal with it. That's the energy that they coming in.
Yep.
You see? You got it.
Yeah, because I was pretty much on that. You want me to get to the other article?
Yeah, let's get before we get to that, let's get Revelation 12 and Revelation 12 and 12.
All right, this is Revelation 12 and verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea."
Right. Why does it say that? Because troubling times are coming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Lord's about to explain it here, but the overall message here is that Jacob's trouble is on the horizon, man. The sun is peaking. You know, the sun is peaking right now. And all the inhabitants of the earth, no matter where you are, you're gonna get touched. We talk about even all over the earth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly here in Babylon the Great, this is where Jacob's really gonna get waxed, because it said this is where Judah, the northern kingdom and southern kingdom served slavery. So it makes sense for it to be the heaviest in this land.
Yeah, press the light. Yep.
Yeah, oppressed the light.
Press
you know,
go.
It would not let him go. So did inhabitants of the earth, when is this Revelation 12 and 12?
Yep.
I'm gonna look it up in the New Testament, but I'm pretty sure it might say land. You know, it's probably not gonna say the whole entire earth. I just went over that in one of my lessons, where the Hebrew word for earth is the whole earth is the ball, but the Hebrew word for just a certain part of the earth is aratazah. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, there it goes, land right there.
Mm-hmm.
Country, land enclosed with fixed borders. Look at that last one.
Yeah.
Tract the land, territory, or region.
Yep.
All right. You can finish it out, Dr. Shaw.
And it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time."
Right, now go from there.
That word for short time.
Yeah, yep. And that devil's a real person.
Because that's the thing. When you're talking about the time, what time are you talking about? In Habakkuk 2, it talks about an appointed time. It talks about running with the correct message. Mm-hmm. You see, you can have the message, but the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
So a true prophet is going to make sure, the Lord is going to make sure that the true prophets know the time that we're talking about. Even Yahushua said, look, I don't know the day, but this is what to be looking for, to let you know that day is coming. You see? See the degree or intensity, right? Degree or intensity. That short time. That was said that short time. He knows that he has but a short time, so he's cranking everything up. You always heard Apostle Elder Sahar talk about how once that chip is made mandatory, the time is gonna speed up. You see, it's talking about the intensity that's gonna rank. It's gonna crank up so hot, this intensity, that the Lord is gonna send Michael back during the time of Jacob's trouble. You see how you have to put these things together?
Mm-hmm.
You see, here it is. You got dudes that swearing they prophets. They fringed up. They got their chest poked out, but they ain't talking about none of this. We the prophets only in an aspect of prophets rebuke. That's not all prophets do. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Notice the Strong's definitions at the bottom. It says somewhat, almost, brief, few, little, a season. They only, a season, short, small. So they only have a little time, a little brief season. And it says short time. See, time, measure, do measure. They measure a time, and their measure of time is short.
I got a
limited period of time, right? A limited period of time. Their time is running out. You see, that hourglass about to flip over.
Yeah. I got a precept real quick. Sirach 36 and verse 8. It says, "Make the time short. Remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works." Again, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 in the Apocrypha, verse 8. It says, make the time short. Remember the covenant. Or in the parentheses, it says oath, and let them declare thy wonderful works. Well, part of the covenant is the salvation. Part of the covenant is also being brought under the bond of the covenant, getting that rod on your back again. Because the Lord made a promise to our people that if they didn't keep the law, statutes, commandments, he was going to come at them. He was going to come at us. All right. And he would besiege, he said, the enemy shall besiege thee in the gate. That's about to happen again. The curse is going to get amplified until they stop,
Same way it did during the time when we was getting delivered from Egypt. See, those plagues increased from weird, annoying to death-defying, to death. You see, he just kept rationing it up. You got it.
That was it.
Oh man, Sirach 1-7 is beautiful too. We need that in these times.
From there, you can get Job. Go to Job 20. You know what I'm saying? Job 20 and 4. We could read that, and then we'll grab that what Trump is talking about. Because we apply the scriptures. That's one thing we do, man. We talk about Jacob's trouble. We're going to apply it. We're going to show you outside of the scriptures what this devil's doing. Oh, and then also back in Revelation, it said the devils come down into you. The devil is Esau, Edom. It says Esau is the end of the world. You think if he knows as any inclination that the scripture says that he's the end of the world, that he's not going to try and stop that from happening? Of course he is. That's why I say he's going to come down with great wrath.
That's what every movie ever made is about, stopping the end.
Yeah.
And they never do. And they never do.
Absolutely not.
I was like, you got all these post-apocalyptic movies, right?
Right.
Like, come on, man.
And you see that it says he knoweth he have a short time. So this devil knows.
Yeah.
And you know what? Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, we're dictating how he moves. Yeah, you got whistleblowers on the left-hand side and within Esau. No, we blowing the real whistle of Yahweh, the trumpet of Yahweh Shemel Shai. This is what's waking people up. All right. Right. Some to everlasting shame and some to life if you're Israelites. You see? But this devil ain't just going to let his empire get taken. Especially not by a bunch of gorillas in black, huffing and puffing up and down a hill.
Man.
Hey, Akim. Hey, watch this. Let me see. Y'all remember this reference here. Let's see. All this training.
Oh, shit.
And this is Esau. all that training, this Esau with his guns, boom.
Oh my God, bro. That's hilarious. And he was in all black.
Yeah. All that. Boom.
Right.
Oh boy.
That's hilarious. Oh man. Wow. Yeah, you can read Job or Awayab 20 and 4.
God, this is Job 20 and verse 4 says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short.
So if you're spiritual, you can see how this kind of sounds like Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. It says, know thou not this of old, since man was placed on earth. In Daniel 12, it says there's going to be a trouble since there hasn't been since any empire on earth, basically. When you go back to Daniel 12 and 1, it says, since man was placed upon earth, we should know this. All right. So the Lord always references the past. Like, look, it was troubling times in the past. You don't think it's going to happen again? A kingdom ruled in the past and it fell. You don't think that's going to happen again? The way that these kingdoms how did the Babylonians go down? A kingdom took them over. How did the Persians and the Medes go down? A kingdom took them over. How did the Greeks and the Romans go down? A kingdom took them over, but now they're back in power. So they have to get taken down again. But in that taking down, they're not just going to lay down. They're going to put stuff in place and they're going to arm themselves and say, you know what? If you even look like you're trying to stop us from completing our mission, hey, we'll shoot a laser from a satellite on your ass. You know what I'm saying? We'll spray. We'll use bio what is it, bio warfare?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah,
Biological.
there it is. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation, even to that same time. All right.
I got a quick precept for you.
Con.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10 in the NLT. It says, everything has already been decided. It was known long ago what each person would be. So there's no arguing with the Most High about your destiny. So if the Lord set up Esau for a certain amount of time, he's not going to be able to go past that time. Okay?
Yeah,
this ain't no situation. I would say this ain't no situation where you put something in the microwave and then it ding, but it ain't hot enough, so you put it back in. No. It's gonna go through what it's supposed to go through. You see, the Lord ain't got to do it over. You know what I'm saying? The Lord didn't make no mistakes. You see? So with everything being declared from the beginning, we telling you how it's gonna play out based on the understanding of the script. You see? It's just like it's just like us having a script to a movie before it comes out. You see? And we able to tell people what's gonna happen. We can tell them, okay, look, this part right here is about this. So get ready.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we telling you, okay, this is we that nigga that turn around in the movie theater back in the bootleg days where the dudes stand up and be like, hold on, this is the good part, watch this. And then, yeah, we them dudes.
Yep.
You see? And you can not believe it all you want to. Just because you don't believe it, don't mean it ain't gonna happen. You see?
Yeah.
Just because you a baby, don't mean you ain't ugly. A baby can be ugly. Two things can be true. You a baby and you ugly. You see? The Lord wants to destroy it. He's gonna destroy his enemies, man. It ain't no way to get around it. You got it?
Yeah, so their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh Shemel Shah none effect. You know, Yahweh forbid. Job 20 and verse 5, it says that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Right. That's why, and this is super going to come to pass when he unleashes his military force by way of the police. How can this man triumph and have joy if this is what he has to do? He can't enjoy. He's not enjoying his kingdom anymore. All right. It says the tabernacles of bribery are going to be set on fire. And Job as well. How can he enjoy his kingdom? You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna watch the playoffs or a World Series when this is popping off outside your neighborhood?
Right.
You're not gonna be worried about this. Then you got the damn tariffs. Remember, a lot of people are gonna start looting soon. Food is starting to come off the shelves rapidly. You know, there's a long list of items, household items, what do they call them? Toiletries that are not going to be available. What do you think people are going to do? They're going to go to the streets, like it says in Ezra's. The power is going to be in their hand. They're not going to care about this stuff. And guess what? You can go ahead and not care. They still going to take you out.
Right.
Like they was doing. They was lighting Jake up at Ferguson when Freddie Gray got shot. They was lighting Jake up in Baltimore, and Wisconsin was at Kenosha. They're going to get you. And hey, the tension's being set, especially with this dude whose son who got murdered, and then he went and ran a cop over, killed the cop.
Yep.
Now, recently, brother just shared they tried to start a GoFundMe for the Jake who was mean mugging them cops in the courtroom. GoFundMe rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So how's that going to make Israelites feel? You see, Esau's building up the tension for this right here, so he can bring these forces. You can go to Salaki. You can go to that Trump is unleashing. It says Trump is unleashing something. Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. Because remember, nobody's perish being innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pretty just from the top is good. You can read it from the top down.
Con. It says executive orders. Yep. It said by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1. All right, purpose and policy says Safe communities rely on the backbone and heroism of a tough and well-equipped police force. This is his administration is steadfastly committed to empowering state and local law enforcement to firmly police dangerous criminal behavior and protect innocent citizens. It says when local headers demonize law enforcement and impose legal and political handcuffs that make aggressively enforcing the law impossible, crime thrives and innocent citizens and small business owners suffer. Yeah, they got to use something to get it up in there. It says, my administration will therefore establish best practices at the state and local level.
Stop right there. You see that Esau, the words I want to focus on are best practices. Because Esau will say best practices, but what the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
Micah 2:1. It says when the morning is light, he practice. Let me get it. Let's get Micah 2:1. Because Esau says best practices. Well, according to Esau, Planned Parenthood is best practices. You know what I'm saying? Spraying wax on your apple is best practices.
Mm-hmm.
With, like you said, putting it with that 80-pound gun on the top of a armored vehicle,
mm-hmm.
It's considered best practices.
Yeah, see, we need to make sure we up high when we make the bullets rain down on these.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best practice. Yeah, the best practice to kill the most people is this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Micah 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Can we pull that word for practice?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Let's see, practice in a linear. They practice it.
Oh yeah, Aisha.
Aisha. Done, huh? Yeah, to do, fashion, accomplish, make, produce.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. So the smith that bloweth the coals, right? That's where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
The smith that bloweth the coals, they gonna practice that. You see, they made those missiles were made to be used.
Yep.
You see why? Because those are the Lord's instruments of destruction. You see, the main thing with this lesson is to understand that the Lord is controlling all of this, man.
Yeah.
You see, Jacob's trouble, Program 1033, all those are a part of the Lord's will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our job to present that to the people so they can repent or not. We doing what we're supposed to do. You see, therefore, doing what we're supposed to do now, we can have the confidence in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah that we gonna make it through whatever is coming down the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we even have the understanding that if our spirit got to leave our body for the Lord's will to be fulfilled, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else ducking and dodging and wiggling, no, you got it.
Mm-hmm. It says, you go back. Yep, Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. So when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And that's all Esau wants to do because he's what? The child of wickedness. Mm-hmm. You know, he's constantly planning. This devil can't sleep unless he does some type of mischief. You know, and he wants to he ultimately wants to take the blessing back by force. He's trying to do things to take the blessing. He sees that his time is running short, and he's trying to do things to physically take the blessing back. But it's not happening. It was always ordained for Israel to get it.
Yeah, how you gonna take something back that started in the fourth dimension?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It started in the heavens.
The nerve.
You know? That's like Manasseh saying, no, Ephraim, that I need to fight for that. That's my blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or Reuben, or tribe of Reuben's rising up. Say, no, I'm the head tribe. No, it's everything is ordained from the altar of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Then it's brought down here in the earth in our realm.
Yep. And people don't get that. Yeah, people don't get that. Even when you deal with our forefathers, Abraham was had that vision that his seed was going to be in Egypt for 400 years. You see? But he didn't have no idea that Jacob's sons was going to sell him into slavery into Egypt for it to happen. You see? Having the prophecy, I would say having the prophecies, you have the prophecies, but as a watchman, you watching the buildup. You don't know how it's going to happen. That was it. We don't know how it's going to look when we get beamed up, but we know that it's going to be a buildup to us getting beamed up. You see? We got to live out the buildup, man. Yeah, we see the prophecies ahead of time.
Yeah.
But until they get there, what are you doing? You watch it so you can say, okay, we closer, we closer, we closer, we closer. It's here. You got it.
This is it says I'll stop right here again. It says my administration will therefore, or his administration, God damn it, will therefore establish best practices at the state and local level for cities to unleash high impact local police forces, protect and defend law enforcement officers wrongly accused and abused by state and local officials.
That's what I'm saying. So they telling you we strengthening the police so we can unleash them. That's what I'm saying. What is all this happening for if we safe?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if all these other nations is mad at America, why are the police? Why is it on us? Right?
Yeah.
What the fuck we do? That's what people are gonna be thinking. Well, what do we do to have to deal with all this? Look, the cops are already off the chain. So you feel the need to strengthen them before you unleash them for what?
Right.
Right?
And again, what we see on the screen leading up to this, again, just to go over it with the 1033 program, Bill Clinton, he was the puppet to bring it forth, which was already written. He didn't write it. He didn't come up with it. He was just in place when they decided to put it out. Then Obama, he restricted the weapon grade, the high-tech weapons that was going to the police, because he's like, what the hell do y'all need this for? Then Trump came in office and said, no, give it back to them. Then Biden came in office and said, no, let's restrict it again. Now Trump's in office and saying, no, we're going to unleash it, the full force of it. And the funny thing is, our people, they looked at Bill Clinton like he was black, and they looked at Obama like he was black. And now look, Obama, if he would have shut the whole thing down, people would have loved him. But you got to remember, he just restricted it. He didn't say do away with it. He just restricted it. That's all he did.
He'll bring it up later.
That's all he did. He just restricted it. Exactly. So all you got people, you got a team, Obama, Clinton, Obama, Biden, and Trump. They just all on the basketball court doing chest passes to each other. That's all they doing. That's all they doing. And the ball is a 1033 program. Go ahead, bro.
Donald Trump, and I was saying they threw Donald Trump a oop.
Yeah.
And he finna break the backboard with that bitch.
Right.
Hey, this is just touching what you brothers talked on, and over $7 billion have been given to law enforcement agencies since the creation of the 1033 program under the Clinton administration. That's during that time.
And you see, I see Derek Chauvin's name, and that's the dude that killed Trayvon, right?
Derek no, not Trayvon.
Okay. But if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the. It's like a cop,
Yeah, that he the foot on the neck of old boy.
Oh yeah.
Had his knee on his neck.
Yeah. But that's the main reason. If you go back to Trump, or if you have some more here, Trump is unleashing it because he's tired of the boys in blue getting attacked. He's like, look, if you want to come at them, we're gonna bring the full force against you. And if you claiming that you got bazookas and all this stuff, that's cool. We're gonna bring a grenade launcher for your ass. We're gonna bring a bazooka. We're gonna bring a sound wave. We're gonna bring a gun that shoots frequency at you, makes it feel like your ears are on fire or bleeding.
Big weapon take little weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Jake, hey, what's Jake doing shooting that little shit?
Yeah.
you know? Go ahead,
This is Trump, my administration will work to ensure that law enforcement officers across America focus on ending crime, not pursuing harmful, illegal race and sex-based equity policies.
Man.
Yeah. It says the result will be a law-abiding society in which tenacious law enforcement officers protect the innocent. Yeah, the ones that are completely under control. That's the innocent, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It says violations of law are not tolerated, and American communities are safely enjoyed by all their citizens again. All right, that comes with a price. It says the
Right, and you would
protection over
think these
freedom.
other Israelite groups like IUIC and ISUPK, like ISUPK, they got a damn a jail ministry, if I'm not mistaken, where they're going to the prison houses.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all are all on this community stuff and upset with cops killing. Why don't y'all set up camps outside of some of these precincts?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about no cowards. Go set up camp in front of a police station.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna look like IUIC got them again. Yeah. Yeah. 4 or 5 on 1, chokehold administered. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting on a nigga chest talking about, you good? Absolutely not. That's what I say. I'm agreeing with my adversary quickly. They roll up on us. Hell no. Y'all gonna have to deal with the angels and the cops.
Right.
No. Agree with our adversary quickly. Y'all come up to the Dallas camp. Y'all come up to the look, man. Y'all gonna have to deal with angels and police.
Right. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Con, it says section 2, legal defense of law enforcement officers, says the Attorney General shall take all appropriate action to create a mechanism to provide legal resources and indemnification to law enforcement officers who unjustly incur expenses and liabilities for actions taken during the performance of their official duties to enforce the law. So this mechanism,
so they get the best lawyers.
Yeah. Yep. Who unjustly incur expenses, liabilities for their action. Yeah. This mechanism shall include the use of the private sector pro bono assistance for such law enforcement officers.
Free.
For free. Yeah.
You can just read 3 and then that's pretty much it. Y'all listening out there, y'all go look the rest of this stuff up, man. Because it goes in.
Con.
But 3 is good.
Section 3, empowering state and local law enforcement.
Right, because that's who's gonna be dealing in Jacob's trouble. You're gonna have them, but then you're gonna have the military backing them up, even though they're already been militarized.
It says the Attorney General and other appropriate heads of executive departments and agencies, shall take all appropriate action to maximize the use of federal resources to, it's going to give with it the list, provide new best practices to state and local law enforcement to aggressively police communities against all crimes.
That's what I'm saying. They're not doing
that. This is the what is executive order level.
And we're gonna and you know what? We're also gonna give them tanks, bitches. What?
The Donald.
Woo, man. Yeah. Okay.
It says also in that too, it says expand access and improve the quality of training available to state and local law enforcement. And they'll be trained by military, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
Increase pay and benefits for law enforcement officers. Oh man.
Raises?
Hey,
all this extra schooling and training. Yeah, we're gonna pay you.
Bishop Nate getting a raise.
Man.
All right. So going back, it says 4, strengthen and expand legal protections for law enforcement officers. Seek enhanced sentences for crimes against law enforcement officers. What is enhanced? Does that mean the death penalty
Right.
You know, if
They
they
untouchable.
get killed, what does the enhanced mean? You
Yeah.
know?
Legally, they untouchable.
Yeah. It's just there Slakiakin, there was a scene in if you watched the Daredevil Born Again, the Kingpin dude, he essentially became the mayor. And one of the things he did was in that world, that's a vigilante. He said it's a vigilante problem. You know, the Daredevil, Punisher running around, right? So he said he's going to put together a special police force, and they're going to only respond to him. So the police chief wasn't with that, and he tried to tell them what to do. They were like, "We don't answer to you no more." So they, regular police and detectives or whatever, decided to be under him. And they had weapons, they had gear, they had the things that they needed, and they were untouchable. So it's funny that they put that in there as I'm reading this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Verse 6, sentence 6, promote investment in the security and capacity of prisons. Man, locking more niggas up, and increase the investment in collection, distribution, and uniformity of crime data across jurisdictions. It says, within 60 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General shall review all ongoing federal consent decrees, out-of-court agreements, and post-judgment orders to which a state or local law enforcement agency is a party, and modify, rescind, or move to conclude such measures that unduly impede the performance of law enforcement functions.
Right, meaning y'all not gonna stop this. If somebody tries to stop it, we're gonna check. You know, they're gonna be looking around. Esau has the manpower to do that shit too. You know, that's pretty much good on this, bro. Esau has the manpower. You see how Trump is fortifying the 1033 program just to make sure Jacob's trouble is extra good for you niggas, man. Because a lot of you don't believe it, but that's okay. We don't want you to believe it. Believe it when you're waiting in line to get an MRE. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on waiting. You know? And you're going to see, because it says, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. So that's why we in the business of not begging people to believe us. We just have a job to do to teach the truth. And the truth of the matter is, Jacob's trouble is coming. Don't let these Israelites deceive you. They'll have you think that we're going to be here forever and ever and ever. No, we are out of here soon.
Can we get that precept?
Salakia, what was the precept again?
Jacob's trouble. Was that
Jeremiah
30?
Jeremiah 30.
Con.
And then before we get that, can we get at the top of the verse, what's the Lord's name? What is his son's name? If thou could tell. Because you notice that this is the same chapter, right? Yeah, let's start. Yeah, let me see.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay. No, I might be thinking about let me see.
Proverbs.
Yeah, that's Proverbs 30 and Salakia.
Proverbs.
You got them 30s mixed up, bro.
Yeah, but we can go ahead and get this one. We can go ahead and get this one. That was my bad. I was off.
Oh, con.
Yeah, we can still get it, but it ain't in Jeremiah, is what I'm saying.
Con, yeah. This is Proverbs 30 and 4. It says, who have ascended up into heaven or descended, who have gathered the wind in his fist, who have bound the waters in a garment, who have established all the ends of the earth. What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell?
You see, so having an understanding of the Lord's name and what all it comes with, you see why Jacob's trouble is so important for us to put this message out. You see, Jacob's trouble is attached to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That has to happen. That much tribulation before we go into the kingdom. Well, it starts with Jacob's trouble. It's going to materialize into the M to the O to the T to the B, which is going to materialize into World War III, which is going to materialize into Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai delivering us. It's a timeline. It's an agenda, right? It's an agenda without times on it.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Okay, now we can go back.
This is Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, and verse. I started the verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it."
There it goes again, bro. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that none is like it. What's coming has never been seen before. Jacob's trouble is going to make 70 AD look like it was nothing. It's going to make our slavery look like it was nothing. We talking about dealing with cannibalism. Meanwhile, all of it's happening: cannibalism, apparitions, people in a super depressive and sorrowful state, race riots, a famine, a lack of resources. Oh, then you got to deal. The scriptures say that we're gonna be in league with the beasts of the field. So y'all you Israelites out there, you afraid of bugs and animals, deal with it. They're gonna be coming out the woodwork. It's all types of caves and stuff. The Lord is gonna turn it up in this place, man.
Everybody's saying that we already went through Jacob's trouble and we don't have to worry about it no more. Has no idea what's coming to this place, man.
Right.
See, you saying we already went through it? So if we already went through it, then it ain't nothing for us to hope for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the Lord said he was going to deliver us. You forgot about that because you already went through Jacob's trouble? No, Jacob's trouble is going to lead to the Lord delivering us. So have you already been delivered? What's going on?
Right.
You see, your timeline is fucked. That's what's wrong with you. Your timeline is completely off. We already went through Jacob's trouble, but we still in captivity. You know what I'm saying? Do we have the mark of the beast or not? Fuck wrong with y'all, man?
Right.
Man, say all that confusion. That's what I'm saying. That's why the Lord got the spirit on us, man, to eliminate all this confusion, man. This shit is ridiculous. But all this confusion is gonna lead you right into where the Lord wants you.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
John, it says, verse 7, and again, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." We know that he shall be saved is talking about the elect. The elect are going to be saved. You know?
Hey, the elect believe and know about Jacob's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's the Christian doctrine. You already saved.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep. They think they already saved?
Yep.
How you already saved if the Lord haven't came back yet? That's what I'm saying. I got so many questions.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If I didn't have this understanding, this is what these people leave you with.
Right. Mm-hmm. These are the questions you would have to ask.
This ain't got nothing to do with what I'm reading. I'm saying what y'all saying ain't lining up with what I'm reading, but y'all teaching me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's why the apostles call y'all zombies, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna sit up here and tell me water don't get stuff wet. You got it.
Read it one more time, bro.
God, this is Jeremiah.
We can wrap up unless Jake got something else.
God. Jeremiah 30:7. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it."
And that sounds like Amos 9:8. You know, the Lord's going to bring this massive destruction, but he still has care for his elect, for his people. It's coming, you know. I'll read it. "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob or Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai," because his covenant, remember, he says he's going to remember his covenant. All right, he's going to save 144,000 and 1/3 hopeful elect scattered remnant throughout the earth. Mm-hmm. All right, but hey, we're going to go through the fire. We're going to live through Jacob's trouble, and we just had to believe the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will deliver us out of it. He talks about us eating, laughing, being in leagues with the beasts of the field. You know what I'm saying? He picked David up in the midst of the battle and dropped him off somewhere safely. The scripture says hope for good. That's what we're doing. These people out here, their idea of hope for good is be here long enough to have a Passover so your 2-year-old can enjoy it as a 6-year-old or some shit.
Yeah, that sounds like they version of best practices.
Yeah, right. That's their best practices. That's off.
Yeah,
That's off, man. That's. I would hate to be in that mindset. You know, the elder and apostle Tahar, he said it a while ago. You're gonna be in your skippies and your boxers playing 2K or Madden at 3 a.m. and this nigga gonna kick the door in because you Googled Yahweh Shah 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? This Esau got all your Google searches. He's coming for you, man. He sees the routes that you take. See, we in the open with this. We're not hiding from Esau. We know what you're gonna do. That's why he's so afraid to move on us. Like the elder said, you're going to have to deal with the angels and the cops. You know?
Damn.
That was it.
Huh.
You got something else up?
Yeah, real quick. Sirach 34:1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools. If your hopes are in anything outside of this, it's vain and false. It's worthless and false.
That's right.
The water. Hey, we pray and know that you've been edified. Of course, double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone, and infinite praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Shalom.
Double shalom.
Harab Bashar Ma'ai.
That's right.